So, at first, this text, for me, it looked like kind of difficult to comment upon, especially in further, because it's kind of, we are breaking apart a bigger text, so having bits and pieces, it's kind of confusing for me. But I will talk first about a word that I think brings everything together in the end. So when I read this, the thing that kind of jumped at me the most was the last phrase of the first paragraph. It says, "In the essential path of emancipation, nothing is more important than this." So I will comment on what it is that is important after I explain why this word emancipation was so meaningful to me. So we are in the path of emancipation. Now, if I had read this text when I first came to Antaiji, it would have made absolutely no sense to me. As you know, I came here without any knowledge per se of Zen. So it was very impressive for me. I remember that the one thing that kind of shocked me the most about Antaiji was all the tiny little rules. All the rules and all the routines and all the everything that kept us kind of all the time having to think about these rules, which to me at the time seemed pretty kind of exaggerated. Let me explain. Well, this is a monastery. I mean, it was kind of funny and kind of naive on my behalf to just not know anything about Zen and come to learn it here in a monastery, a pretty strict place. It was obvious that I would be kind of shocked. So I want to talk about these rules. In the second paragraph, Dogen goes on and kind of starts enumerating a bunch of rules. And he talks about the Sutra of the 3,000 deportments. Now in the footnote here about this, it says that the 3,000 is the name of the Sutra of the 3,000 deportments, derives from a bhikshu's approximately 250 regulations multiplied by 4 for the positions of walking, sitting, standing, and lying to make 1,000, and then multiplied by 3 for past, present, and future to make 3,000. So that is a lot. And all these regulations, I think it's what Murilo was talking about yesterday. It's Dharma decorum. And so all these regulations might seem to an outsider at first like crazy, like a lot. I mean, 3,000 ways of telling you how to sit, stand, talk, and move. That's pretty impressive. So, but the thing is, in a monastery, they are really, really important, and now I see them as one of the most interesting parts of this practice. What I didn't realize at the time is that all these little rules are actually there to kind of set us free. Because all these rules, I was going crazy. I was tired of everyone telling me no hat, no socks, no crossing the middle of the hondo without bowing. You forgot one bow, you put your chopsticks to the left instead of the right. You walked too fast and you got to the end of the tatami and you didn't quite reach the end of the tatami before turning. I was like, oh my god, calm down. This is crazy. And so yes, I didn't understand why I was feeling very on edge all the time, and I was feeling very uncomfortable all the time. And I didn't realize that this was precisely what I needed to be feeling. I will tell you about when one time I met a Rinzai monk in Kyoto. When I left Antaiji for the first time after being for 2 months here, I went to visit my cousin in Kyoto, and she goes to Kyodai University, where she met Ingrid. You have all met Ingrid. She studies Buddhism, but in a more academic level. And Ingrid, she goes to sit sasen in a place called the Hermitage, in the heart of Kyoto, in Gion, with a man named Jeff Shore. He's a Rinzai kind of scholar. He's not a monk, he's a layperson, but he has this place where people can go and sit if they want to. So my cousin told me, oh, well, my friends invited me to go sit sasen somewhere. Let's go. And I was like, oh, okay. Why not try a different place? So I went there, and I went there for like maybe a couple of weeks. In the end, it wasn't really my place to be, but it was interesting. And there we met a monk that practiced in a temple somewhere in the mountains, a Rinzai temple, and he had a broken leg, so he had to go to Kyoto to the doctor, and he went to the Hermitage to sit, to keep practicing while he had to be in the city because of his broken leg. So we sat with him for like 3 days or so. And at the end of one of the sitting sessions, everyone was going, and we were putting on our shoes. And the monk with his broken leg, was putting on what looked like really extremely uncomfortable shoes. And like some slippers. It was the middle of summer, so we were using slippers, but his looked really, really uncomfortable, the way monks' shoes do. So my cousin asked him, hey, I know you're a monk and all, but you have a broken leg. Not even then are you allowed to use more comfortable shoes. And he was like, oh, no. I'm fine with these ones. I'm used to them. You see, and he explained, he told us, for us, comfort is at the base. Discomfort is at the base of comfort, meaning it all depends on your perspective and your point of reference. If you wear comfortable shoes, then okay, you will be comfortable for a little while. Then you will need. Eventually, they will get uncomfortable, but then you will have this need for comfort, so you will go and search for more comfortable shoes and so on until you are kind of addicted to comfort and kind of trapped by it. But instead from the start we put on these really uncomfortable shoes, so for us this becomes normal, and it's not that we are always comfortable or uncomfortable, we don't even think about it anymore. It's just normal for us to wear these. So that for me was very interesting, and it made me think back at the time I was in Antaiji and feeling so uncomfortable, and with all these little rules. But I also realized that when I was in Antaiji, this discomfort kept me alert. It kept me kind of present, because I've always been a very kind of light-headed person. I'm always inside of my head. But when I was here, I kind of came out of my head into the practice, into the moment, because I had to. We all have to. So this is kind of what Murillo said yesterday in a very eloquent manner, but with kind of my own words, I guess. And so then I realized that all these rules are there to make us uncomfortable and to be the uncomfortable shoe. And the thing is that whenever we start doing this on a everyday basis, we get used to it. We kind of get used to it, so we get used to being present and focused and being in the moment instead of in our heads. So we are kind of released and set free from ourselves, from our egos, and we are doing what we are doing at the time we have to do it. For example, whenever I remember one time Yushin-san doing sesshin, 5-day sesshin, it was quite warm, and he didn't, I guess he was uncomfortable with his robes, so instead of, he had just become a monk, and instead of wearing his robes for sitting sasen, he got changed and wore his normal kind of light clothes. And so Docho-san told him, well, I don't know actually what Docho-san told him, but I guess it was something like, it doesn't matter if you're cold or if you're hot, what matters is that you're a monk, you have to wear your robes and sit. And so a monk, even if he's really warm, he just has to let go of this feeling of being warm and just sit with his robes. I guess you all know what I'm talking about. And so I didn't understand at first why of all these rules for this practice, but also I didn't understand why was it that it was so bad, or it seemed to be so bad, when one person didn't follow these rules to the like correctly. Because I remember, for example, one time I was during oryoki meal, I put my chopsticks the other way, and I remember Mui from the other side of the table making signs at me like, turn your chopsticks. And I was like, oh my god, calm down. I mean, we all have our own rhythm and our own, we are different people. It's okay if you want to be perfect, just leave me alone. That was really funny. But now I realize that these rules are here to set us free from, to bring us out of our own heads. And it's really interesting because, oh, sorry. Because whenever we all are present, we all manage to carry out this routine and this kind of dharma decorum to its proper, I don't know, like if we all follow the rules and the choreography, kind of, something really special happens. I don't know, I'm sure I'm not the only one who has felt whenever we, for example, we are eating and everyone finishes at the same time, like precisely at the same time, and something feels very right about that. Or for example, when we are cleaning the dishes and we are cleaning the dishes and everyone is in complete harmony, so we all know what the next person moves is going to be, and we move accordingly to the moves of that person. This can only happen if we are all present together. Why does it feel so good when this harmony happens? Well, because not only we are all here, we are all here together. We are sharing a moment. So we let go of what's happening here and here,